Hi, everyone. Hello, dear participants. So I'm happy to see you all here. My name is Marina, and I'm going to be your host tonight. I would like to introduce you to our graduate. I cannot say student anymore because he successfully graduated, got a dream job offer, I hope. And thank you so much, Ivan, that
Hello.
you
Hello,
will.
everybody.
Yeah, hi. So, my first question, of course, is going to be like an interview. Tell me about yourself. How did you get into QA field?
Oh, yeah. I basically came to Canada like in 2019, just before COVID. And basically, I came like for studying purposes, but then like COVID starts, and I was like all my education being like online, and I had a lot of like extra time, right? I came along some like YouTube video where it's like Azad been giving interview and was telling about QAs and like it's very promising and like it's a good industry to work or like start your IT career. And I decided to give it a shot. I wrote like to your like customer support
Mm-hmm.
and like ask several questions about like what kind of packages, like what kind of like
Mm-hmm.
basically all these details. They provided me with the details and I
Mm-hmm.
started. I don't remember actually the date I started, but my group was B15. It was long ago.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
actually really good information. So currently you are from Canada. So yeah, so you made the decision to go to QA because you found it's like pretty, like nice job, yeah, and wasn't like a lot of benefits. But okay, tell me, do you have any prior technical background?
No, like before coming to Canada, I graduated with a diploma bachelor in economics. Like for me, it's never been an issue to learn something new. As long as everything is like provided, like all the instructions, like all the like theory is clear, and like especially for QA, you doesn't need to have like much of like technical experience, like coding, because it's basically a job which like you're working with documentations, and I would like say like heavily related to communication.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Communication, that's the big part of the job, I would say, and the most important from my perspective as well. Okay, so the most interesting question, at least to me. How long did it take you to get a job? So I understand you are
I'm
from
kind of
B15, so that's basically when I just started like teaching in a test for like a little bit like so
I'm kind of
yeah.
I'm kind of very like vivid example of how to be persistent because that time so like I was as mentioned I was studying right,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to before like starting like application I had to graduate like with my diploma. So
Mm-hmm.
after like, I graduate with TESTPRO, I couldn't like start like looking for a job because like my status like was different like in Canada, right? As soon as I
Mm-hmm.
get my work permit, it was like 3 months after I start looking for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And as it was mentioned by you, like other like members of this pro, like I've been just sending like 30 to 50 applications a day. But like in my case, it was like tough because like Toronto, especially Toronto, like IT market was always been like weak, and I've been applying for 15 applications a day because like it's only like 15 to 20 been open a day, right? Sometimes it's application, like sometimes I would say job openings hasn't been like a lot of opportunities, right, in terms of job. So like when this time happened, I was doing like my revision, practice on my speech, and other than that, yeah. But
Oh,
and honestly, most important is like practice on your speech and like do like revision, like theory, yeah, like work, like just understand like how does everything work.
okay, so tell us about like your like so about the interview questions. Like I mean, not all of them I understand. Like and about the interview process. How many interviews did you have? And like share like some questions. Maybe
Um,
like fun story. Sometimes like to
my
get a
I
job,
would
it's like
say
really
I
fun sometimes.
I would say I usually speak a lot and I do not allow like interviewer like to ask me like much of technical questions because like I do heavy research on the company, like go through like about us section, then like his financial reports, then I go to LinkedIn profile of the person who is going to interview me and like go like over his experience, and then like I I talk mostly like about the company, especially when they start to talk about the project at the company, and I start like grilling them like with the questions like about the product, about the team, what is
Mm-hmm.
it doing. Yeah, like, but sometimes like obviously I had like the very kind of like technical question, which is normal. Like I failed and I just admit it, right? So like,
Mm-hmm.
and the next time I just, whenever like I face certain questions which I couldn't handle, I just write it down like after interview and like prepare it like for the next time. That's it. Because
Mm-hmm.
like all the interviews is trial and error. Like without actually having interviews or like applying for interviews and getting like phone calls, face-to-face interviews, you wouldn't be confident.
Sure. That's what I'm always suggesting to all my students. So, guys, once you graduated from the course, so never ever
Learn
just sit and like try to learn more. Just go to the market and start your learning out there because it's like much more useful. And that's the only one way how you can get a job, not like sitting and learn, just actually go and hunting for the job. That's the only one way.
on top of that, I would advise just if you land like an interview, let's say you have face-to-face interview, just do some research, try to be excited because as you try to be positive and smile a lot, try to show them that's like your dream job.
Okay, so tell me, how did you like your job right now? So, what do you do? Maybe you can tell, I mean,
But
non-sensitive information about your project. What do you test? Like type of the application. So, like your work duties.
I mean, like my job related to it's private company with private equity, and I basically work like our companies work with like loans, and I
Mhm.
work is our like QA team. It's small. We have like two QAs, and that's it, like me and another guy. And right now, as of right now, I just go like through documentations and mostly learning, but they do not demand like much for the first like 1, 2, or like 3 months because they do understand your own like learning curve, and
Mhm.
they cannot actually, and it's new product for you, like new project, so like they will give you like space and time to learn because they don't want you to be stressed out.
That's really generous, I would say, from my experience. I remember when I started my last job, like how my important, of course, it was already the leading role and I had a lot of experience, but my first day was okay, that's your computer, that's your sit, go and work. We have a release tomorrow. That's it.
Well, that's why like all the cases and all the people are different, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you definitely got lucky because that's how actually my each and every job was like. Okay, so hi, that's your workspace. Go sit and work. So yeah, it's really nice. So as of now, just documentation and product. So is your job manual or are you gonna do some automation as well?
I do. Although I mentioned obviously on my resume that I know Java, but I never like talk about like Java experience and all stuff. I just put it there just to go
Mhm.
like through to get an interview, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you have to speak about it. If they ask you, you answer. If they
Mhm.
not, you're not even like mentioning that you don't deep dive into like your like Java, let's say, experience, right? And but my job, like right now, like as I said, it's mostly just like manual stuff.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know stories.
Yeah, so basically,
uh,
they're gonna give you a user story. You're gonna write your task cases, and you're gonna test. In some companies, even you don't have to create the task cases, so they just test against of the story, which I personally
yeah.
myself against.
Plus, like I was on Jira, I was going over like user stories, like past and all, so like I could understand like how it's will like work in the company, right?
Yeah, of course. What is really important to me? That's a question only for me. So, what was really helpful? I mean, that you learned in a boot camp, like maybe instructor experience, like specific knowledge. So, like overall, just like really
Oh,
interesting.
like generally, the most important part is people, like, and I would say that all like instructors were like super friendly and always been there like for us. I had like, let's say, for example, I had some question or like burden which I couldn't overcome. Like, just drop a message in the Slack, and then like someone like from Test Pro like get to me and answer like my questions. And plus, obviously, like technical part, Test Pro allows me to be more familiar with Jira, all these management tools, get familiar with it. So like I was more confident on job interview because like I was working on actual projects on, yeah. Plus, like students, obviously, you have a lot of students in the class who you can collaborate with, right? We were like from different time zones. So, like for example, I had like difficulty with like homework. So like I just messaged my team member, like who was like my classmate, and I asked him. So we just linked like via Zoom, and we just discussed our issues, my problem. He helped me to rectify it, right?
Oh yeah,
Was,
collaboration with your teammates. That's how you're gonna do your job right now. The same way,
yeah.
like you're gonna be like always like in touch with your teammates. That's how I started like to have my QA friends. So when I was in a bootcamp as you, so we had a team of people. So we're still friends. Like it was more than 8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Don't plus like do not be afraid to like ask questions because it's a learning process, right? You're supposed to ask questions.
So there is, we'll kind of answer it, but maybe you can be a little bit more specific. How your day look like as a QA engineer?
Right now, we have just team meetings at
Mhm.
like 10 a.m. Honestly, right now, like I do not do much because I just go like through documentations and that's it. Like going like through like over like website and like basically they like my like manager. He told me that he will assign me like some task like in few weeks, but right now what I could say, like just stick to your like with regards to like if you ask about your how's your job, how's your day looks like currently when you're going through like interview process, just stick to your what like TESTPRO been like teaching you because like all this product life cycle and the project like it has like same dates, same deadlines, like yeah, but
Um,
I'm not very vivid example because my company isn't like huge, so we do not have like huge bureaucracy and like lots of documentations. And I think like yeah, because like on my, for example, past experience, I've been asked more detailed questions like on my past interviews, like let's say, but like with current job, I think like they hired me because of my emotional intelligence. I was so the person like gave me like case studies, sort of. He put like on the picture this case study about like three switchers and like three bulbs. Yeah, I don't know, like if you know,
yeah,
right?
I heard, but yeah, like I'm
So
not sure if people is
I'll
aware.
tell you,
Like,
I'll tell you my story. I had like 40 minutes interview. Within 40 minutes of interview, I was talking like for 25 minutes about the company, what I've been doing. I was really like prepared for the interview. I write it down my speech. I was recording myself to sound more confident. And then like I just literally didn't like let him talk. And then like he's like, okay, like how's your day? What are you doing like on your previous job? I told him like with regards to application and program we have been practicing like with TESTPRO while I've been studying there. And then he's like, okay, just I would like to proceed with another question. And he picture pop up with like light bulbs, and he's like, you're in a room like with three like switches, and
mhm.
then you need to test like light bulbs in the room which is next to you. There's like three light bulbs, so like just define which one is working. And I haven't been aware of this like case
Mhm.
study, so I just start like talking to him, and he was sort of like when I was start like explaining, when I was like explaining, he started to ask me like more questions because at the time I was kind of like wrong, but I just think like he was kind of let's say he was checking my thought of like my way of
Yeah,
thinking, right? He didn't expect like the right questions. He
like
just
your
yeah.
logic. Yeah, like what would you do? So yeah, that's question, and it's not about the right answer. That's about how you're gonna solve the problem. So it's like that kind of question, and what you're gonna do, how you're gonna like that's like kind of a typical situation. So how you're gonna handle it.
Yeah, that's it. Like I basically had like three questions.
Yeah, there is like also another question I hate. Like it's like, for example, they're gonna present you with a paper and there is like five black hats and two white hats. Pick one. So
I,
yeah, so there is like a lot of like another the cases, like the tasks, but yeah, it's not more about like the
It's
right
also
answer.
more about like your personality because like company like your team members they can teach you like some technical stuff. They do understand that you're
Exactly.
like newbie, you like new
Mhm.
hire, right? But they cannot teach you how to be a good person. The way they approach people, the way they talk. So like if you let's say go like over LinkedIn and you like the company, it's your dream company, just like add the person who is working there, drop him like few messages like about what is the hiring process, or like some ask something about him. Be honest, transparent, that's it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so let me see what kind of questions we have. Yeah, that's funny. Do you have any idea what technologies you might use in your company? Technologies, what kind of technologies you might use in your company? Maybe to I understand it as it like probably tools.
We just use like Jira and like
Sure.
communication. It's like Teams. We just use Teams.
Mhm. Oh, there is people. Some people is asking you to share your LinkedIn. Oh, guys, it's absolutely up to Ivan. It's no.
Oh, I haven't updated my LinkedIn because like I still like kind sort of like probation, right? So I will like share it after.
uh,
I can't like update like company right now.
okay, so honestly, my LinkedIn profile was updated maybe probably 5+ years ago. I only have a like my title is correct, but all the other information like skills, whatever, I didn't update. There is like another interesting question. So, how many jobs did you apply? I would say 5+100.
768.
Oh, you see, that's exact number 700. Absolutely, yeah. And did you apply every day? I believe
Uh,
yes. Yeah.
I would say not exactly because I just built like schedule
Hmm.
like for example with regards to application I had this like time clocks like timer, so I just put like 3 hours. Let's say I have like 2 hours of free time, right? And I just put like clock timer for 2 hours, whereas like not, and I switch like phone every all the message and I just apply. Plus, if I've been using public transport, I've been applying through my phone. And more like for me, I try to with all this application process, I try to track everything. So I had like Excel sheets with companies which I applied, date, time, then like what the round of interviews, like first round, second round. If I've been declined, I updated like with decline. Uh, yeah, I was like doing like the plus. It's good like to track a progress, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I was always recommend. Like always like to with like apply and same but to the same company
Oh,
twice.
I mean, in my case, if I do not track it, I feel frustrated and my anxiety level will be high. Like whenever let's say I see that I applied for 60 jobs like over like 4 days, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I do not like see feedback, so it makes me apply even more because I was angry at myself, so I was applying even more.
That's kind of I remember what I did like when I was applying. Yeah, I remember before I got my first job. First, it took me 6 months, I believe, like around. So I applied like around thousands position as well, like not less.
Well,
So.
I would say it's difficult everywhere if you start like a new job, a new industry,
Mhm.
unless like with QA, your like requirements and what you're supposed to know, it's transparent and clear. When like as a student, we've been told what we are supposed to know, like what we might be asked on interview, right? Like so everything been provided. If you let's say you decide to switch like industry right now, everything will be vague and unclear like for you in terms of like what you're supposed to know, what kind of certification you need to get. So at least like one part of my life been clear. I control what I could control. Like I could control only amount of application which I send like during the days. That's it. About like rejections or like interview, it wasn't up to me.
Okay. Okay. That's really nice. Okay. So, and like my last question, for our people who like, for our students, so like, what is your best advice you could give them? So what they should do to how get a job? What would you
um
recommend?
I think like keep applying. And for example, if you're not confident like during the interview, so it means that like write down your speech and then like record yourself and listen to yourself. If you feel like you sound like not very, I would say, confident, just like repeat it again and then like just practicing till it will be perfect, right? And obviously apply for keep applying. Without interviews, you wouldn't be confident, and you would never know like what kind of question you could be asked, right? Plus, I don't like to regret about something. For example, right now, if I didn't like find a job, I would have still like been applying because like for me, like timely manner wasn't like there. Like for me, like end goal was the most important. That's it. Like, and if it's like require me to apply like 2,000 interviews, like 2,000 application, I would still apply.
So did you ever lose hope when applying? That's not for me. That's not
Well,
for me.
I
That's
usually no, I usually take a break. Let's say like 5 days I'm flying, and then no one get back to me, like right. So I just take like normal like weekends like off, and like my one main rule like which I implemented was like Sunday I do not apply on Sunday. That's it. So I've been applying like from Monday, let's say, to Saturday, and if I was like stressed, I was going like for a run. So you just need to understand like what kind of person you are, or what will work for you. Like for me, it was a system. I like to be like systematic, and that's it. Like because I don't like hectic life.
okay. Okay. So, Irons, thank you so much. It was like an
Thank you.
awesome,
Oh yeah, my pleasure
experience.
always.
Yeah. Okay. Come again. So
Sure.
I'm gonna invite you one more time. Okay.
Okay.
No, no, you are actually such a motivating and nice person. Like you're gonna be a really like good example for all the people who still
Thank
apply. And so okay, thank you so much. Okay, and come to us to learn
you. Oh,
automation in the future again. So you're gonna be welcome. Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Have an amazing evening. Bye.